Hey guys, what's happening? So, as I'm sure many of you've heard the news about Benny, comic historian, passing this past weekend. Um, First and foremost, I just want to send out thoughts and prayers to the family and loved ones and the whole staff at Comic Historian. To the community, we lost someone very special. And much like a lot of you guys, I found out the same way online yesterday and still in shock. And in the past, I've only had a handful of conversations with Benny, most of which through messages and a phone call. Because back in 2020, he invited me on a panel for like an at-home Comic-Con, and he didn't have to do that. But I'll never forget, it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. But man, I've been watching Comic Historian for years, man. Cause for me, like, I've been reading comic books most of my life, but there was a point where I kind of fell off around like your early 2000s up until like the announcement of the first Iron Man film, where I started to creep back in. And I remember back then I had my iPod Touch, and I had I would buy comic books on like the Apple Books, which is like the only place to get digital comics at the time. But when I started back trying to find my way into finding comics and reading comics, you know, fast forward to like around 2014 for me is when I found like his channel and Rob's channel. And these guys back then there weren't much of any comic book YouTubers. Like, it was really just like these guys and outside of them, Variant, Comic Book Girl, and then stuff like Bat in the Sun later on. But um, yeah, I've been a fan of Benny for years. So when he reached out, man, I was just like, I was shocked that, for one, he even knew who I was, but also that he would take the time to invite me pretty much to his platform, and just have me on for a show. And uh, I'll never forget, even leading up to that, we had a phone call conversation. It was the one call that we had, like the one time I talked to him on the phone. And to even have that call, uh, we had to set it up on, it was on Discord. It was a Discord call, and I didn't know what I was doing. He had to walk me through it, and Benny was a huge help with that, because I like, again, I don't know what I was doing, still don't, kind of, but but he was a huge help with that. And when we were talking, he was asking so many questions, just getting to know me and telling me so much about himself. Because once the conversation, at one point in the conversation, he was asking me if I was doing YouTube full time, and I told him yeah, because at that point in 2020, my channel was like 3 years old at the time, or a little over 3 years old. So I was like, yeah, I'm doing full time, but at the same time, I do some freelance graphics and stuff on the side. So he, started to open up and talk about his art and stuff, and I'd seen him talk about it on the channel, and I've seen his work on his channel. Dude's an amazing artist and digital artist as well, and that spun the conversation to keep going for a while. And it's almost like he just had this way of pulling you out of your shell. And I remember, like, during that talk, when we're leading up to the at-home Comic-Con, during that conversation, there was one point where Sal told Benny, like, hey, Dope Spill and Rob, they was beefing on Twitter a couple years ago, so I don't know. And Benny was just like, I don't care, he'll get over it. And for like another minute or two, we talked about Benny's relationship with Rob. And I remember Benny just told me that, it was something that was going to, it was like my talks with Rob would get better over time. And that's exactly what happened. And to me, Benny was just like this this mediator. He was just so many things to all of us. And even though like my actual communication with him was like, within like this window of, a handful of messages in the talk, uh in the stream and whatnot, it's like within that window, what he has done, the things he has said, it just meant so much to me. So I can only imagine those who've known Benny for years, um, how much he has blessed their lives. And once again, my heart goes out to everyone, to the family, to Rob. Um, hats off to him because for even having enough strength to address the community. For him, like I can't imagine, you know, I can't imagine for him how hard that had to have been. But yeah, I just want to say that Benny will truly be missed. He he has done a lot for the comic community as a whole. Like once again, this comic YouTube thing, like he was there, one of the ones at the start of it. And if you look at now where there are creators everywhere you turn, you got YouTube, you got TikTok, you got Instagram, you got Reels, it's just all over the place. Like he's cut from a cloth. Like these guys, they were there at the beginning, and they paved the way for myself and so many others to do what we do today, and I truly appreciate that. Yeah, that's all I really got for you guys. Uh, just want to say to the community, just to always remember Benny and what he's done for us, because it's one of those things where it's like I don't know I don't know where all of this would be had I mean, just as a communication from creators to the community about the comics we love. I don't know where all this would be without people like him, doing what they've done, taking the time to make rounds throughout the community and affect so many people. And I'm just truly grateful to have, even spoken to someone like him. Um, yeah. But I just want to tell you guys, just keep your heads up, keep the family in your thoughts and prayers. Yeah, that's all I got for this one, man. You guys take it easy. All right, later.